Sorry about that.
I'm calling to order the regular meeting of the zoning administrator for the city of San Clemente. My name is Cecilia Gallardo Daly. I'm the zoning administrator. The first item on the agenda is to receive and file the minutes from the August 17, 2023 zoning administrator meeting. So received and filed. The next item is oral and written communication. This is the time on the agenda for members of the audience to address the zoning administrator on any item within the jurisdiction of the zoning administrator that is not on the zoning administrator agenda. I don't see anyone here wishing to speak during oral or for oral or written communication. So I'm going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the public hearing. Public hearing process includes a staff presentation, a presentation by the applicant not to exceed 10 minutes, and public testimony not to exceed 3 minutes per speaker. Following closure of the public hearing, the zoning administrator will respond to questions raised during the hearing, discuss the issues, and act upon the matter by motion. We have one public hearing item on the agenda today, and it is a tentative parcel map for 229 Avenida Monterey, and we'll have Kyle Weber, the staff planner, give us a presentation on this item.
Okay, thank you. Tentative parcel map 23-224 is a request to consider a duplex condominium conversion at address 229 Avenida Monterey, allowing for individual ownership of 2 dwelling units that are currently under construction. The subject site is an interior lot approximately 14,000 square feet in size, currently vacant and located in the residential medium zoning district and coastal zone overlay. This particular neighborhood and zoning district include both single and multi-family residential buildings. A building permit already approved and issued by the City of San Clemente will allow the construction of a duplex and 1 accessory dwelling unit on the site in conformance with the city's zoning code and applicable development standards, such as required setbacks, height limitations, lot coverage, and allowed density ratios calculated per square feet of lot area. The application requests to subdivide the airspace to allow airspace of the lot to allow for separate ownership of units 1 and 2 and a portion of common areas on site. As stated in the staff report, the city's municipal code places limitations on the number of condominium conversions permitted in a fiscal year when the certified vacancy rate falls below 10%. At present, the city's vacancy rate stands at 8.2%. However, no condominium conversions have been approved in the current fiscal year, and therefore this regulation does not impact the current project. Municipal code requires zoning administrator approval of a tentative parcel map when the project meets the required findings. Staff believes the project meets required findings because the project is limited to subdividing airspace to allow for separate ownership of 2 condominium units and does not introduce any environmental impacts. Conditions of approval tied to the project's resolution requires covenants, conditions, and restrictions to establish maintenance responsibilities over all common areas, and the project complies with the zoning, building, health, and safety codes and regulations, including requirements for condominium subdivisions in Title 16 of the Municipal Code. The project is also exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines, section 15315, class 15, minor land divisions, because the project doesn't require a variance or other exceptions to approve the project. All public services, utilities, and access to the project site are available. The site was not involved in a subdivision within the last 2 years, and the parcel does not have an average slope greater than 20%. Based on information in the staff report and subject to the required findings, conditions of approval, staff recommends that the zoning administrator determine the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA, adopt resolution number ZA23-015, approving tentative parcel map 2023-112, subject to the conditions of approval, and adding condition of approval number 1.11, stating that prior to final stamping of the tentative map, the plan shall state that the landowner's covenants for fuel modification zone maintenance shall be in accordance with approved fuel modification plans and shall be recorded concurrently with the final map. Staff has not received any public comments. That concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, thank you. Just one question related to the added condition. When we say final stamping of the tentative map, that is the stamping of this is prior to finaling the map?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, well, I don't have any more questions. Thanks for the very thorough and complete report with all of the relevant information attached. I have reviewed the conditions of approval, the findings, and am familiar with the property. I can make the findings for the condominium conversion. The subdivision of airspace will allow for 2 units on 1 lot. One of the units will assume ownership of the attached ADU. The conversion of these 2 units does not exceed the condominium conversion vacancy, or does not exceed the maximum number of condominium conversions that we have established. There is a condition of approval that requires that the applicant get approval from Coastal Commission before the final map is approved, and there's no removal of any existing affordable housing. The property is under construction now for the development of the 2 units in the ADU. CCNRs are required that will establish maintenance responsibilities over all the common areas, and the condominium conversion complies with all requirements of the municipal code. So with that, I will determine that the project is categorically exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15315. And I approve resolution number ZA 23-015, tentative parcel map 2023-112, the Kozik condominium conversion, subject to the conditions of approval, with one added condition that staff read into the record, but I will read that as part of my my motion. Prior to final stamping of the tentative map, the plans shall state that the landowner's covenants for fuel modification zone maintenance shall be recorded with fuel modification plans and shall be recorded concurrently with the final map. So we need to make sure that this language is on the final map. All right. And with that, the project is approved. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. New business, seeing none. We'll move on to the next item, old business. Seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting of the zoning administrator to the next regular meeting, to be held at 3 p.m. on Thursday, October 19th at the Community Development Department, first floor community room located at 910 Calle Negocio, San Clemente, California. Thank you. Can I see the